What I love is when I do the hair and makeup for my brides and they feel wonderful. So it's almost like you're giving ordinary people the chance to feel and look absolutely gorgeous. Actually, what I'm doing is giving that service to everyday women so they can feel like a movie star on their wedding day, on their red carpet moment.
I'm Suzette Llewellyn.
I'm Suzanne Packer.
We're two actors and, more importantly, two friends who've been through life's ups and downs together over the last 30 years.
In this series, we invite some incredible people to our imaginary veranda to tell the stories of their lives.
This is Veranda Talk.
Hello, Pam Wrigley, and we are delighted to have you here with us in Red Bull, London. Welcome to Veranda Talk.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thanks, Suzette.
Yes, we're very, very pleased to have you here on our veranda. And I have to declare an interest because I have known Pam for, over 20 years. We have both been mothers together. And Pam is somebody who I see as my guru when it comes to such things. Pam is a businesswoman. She has a wedding hair and makeup business. She has been awarded numerous times for her work. She is a phenomenal mother, and she is an incredible friend. We have Pam here, and she's one of our contributors to Still Breathing, 100 Voices on Racism, 100 Ways to Change It. And we wanted to get you here so that we could celebrate you, Pam, and so people could find out more about you.
I feel I know Pam. I mean, there's the irony because Sue talks about you so much.
Yeah.
And she always has this glow and a massive smile whenever she talks about you. And you've been described as warm and calm and a very good listener. So I'm wondering, do you see yourself as that?
I think I'm warm and I think I can be calm, but I'm also very excitable. So I think I can be a bit of everything. I have a rubbish poker face. So what you see is what you get. If I'm happy, I'm happy. If I'm sad, I'm sad. It's all there on the surface.
But those qualities, that warmth and the calm and good listening, do you see that as really central to your success as a businesswoman in the hair, makeup, wedding industry?
I think as a makeup artist doing weddings, I think we can sometimes be seen as kind of second-class citizens in the makeup world. Because first, I'd say, is fashion, music videos possibly, but definitely fashion up at the top, music, film, TV, and then right at the bottom are our wedding makeup artists. But I love it. Honestly, I love my job. Everybody's happy and excited and a little bit nervous. So I think that's where the calming element comes in. And really, my job isn't about, I think in lots of other areas of makeup, it's about creating something, a vision that you want to kind of achieve. It's about creating a character that maybe somebody's, the designer's got an idea of what she wants that character to look like. Maybe what the model, what the designer wants the model to look like. But when you're doing makeup for weddings, it's quite a different skill because it's really about what that person wants. So it's about trying to find out what it is makes that person feel wonderful and interpreting it and then see it. I think that's why a lot of people don't like it because it's not really about what you think. It's not what I like. It's about what they like.
It's really about facilitating somebody else. You're a facilitator. Yeah. You're helping them to be that version of themselves.
Yeah.
That day, that moment.
Even if you do next to nothing, sometimes, if someone wants a very natural look, you just kind of maybe brushing their face a little bit. But it's about making them feel wonderful. So I think I definitely have that ability to make someone feel good about themselves.
Given the hierarchy that you just described, fashion at the top.
Yeah.
And in your terms, wedding makeup at the bottom.
At the bottom.
Would you always have chosen it? Or how did he, well, basically I'm asking, how did he fall into that
Well, that's
part?
a really good question because I started off wanting to do kind of beauty. Say when you walk through kind of department stores and you've got those kind of lovely kind of, could be Clinique or Estee Lauder or MAC, those images of beautiful faces close up. That's what I actually wanted to do. And I did start working in fashion. I realised that wasn't for me. Did a bit of film, did a bit of TV. But what actually happened was I got pregnant. And I remember when I was training, I was one of the girls, we were chatting about what we wanted to do, and I wanted to kind of do fashion and travel off around the world and everything. There was another girl that I was training with, she wanted to do bridal. And I remember thinking, oh my God, how boring. Who'd want to do wedding makeup? And then I did my first job and I just loved it. And actually, I loved being a mum more than I love my job, but I love being a mum more than I love working. So actually, for me, doing weddings meant I had to work, but doing weddings meant that I could kind of work a couple of hours a week. I wasn't on set at like 5 a.m. and there for 12 hours. If I arrived at somebody's house at 5 a.m., I'd be finished by 11. So then I'd be home again. I was home Monday to Friday and I'd be working kind of Saturday, Sunday. So as my children grew, my kind of business grew. But I actually started to do weddings because I loved being a mum. And I have to say, it's been that for me. So it's funny because I think I got a message earlier about whether I see myself as a working mum. I see myself as a mum who works because I think the mum is the first bit for me and the work. I'm really glad I think if I'd have had my choice back in my 30s when I had Albie, I think I probably would have said, I'm just going to have loads of babies, not work, just stay at home. Because I would have been happy doing that. But actually, I'm really glad that I had to keep on working, even though it wasn't full time, but I kept on working because it's just meant now that I feel like I've had the best of both worlds. But yeah, so I think doing weddings primarily started because I wanted to be at home with my babies and not be on set for 12 hours.
And you were kicking against, I can imagine that's not always an easy thing for a woman to say, particularly now.
Yeah. And I think if somebody had said that to me in my 20s, that I would have, because I did a degree in politics at university and I wanted to change the world. And there was no way I was going to be at home, staying at home, looking after babies. And I had my baby and it was like, oh my God, actually, you know what? It's lovely being at home. Your babies are actually nice people. So why wouldn't you want to be with them?
Gosh, now I'm learning something. You never told me Pam did a degree in politics.
Yes.
So
you were in that area. Yeah. You worked in a completely different area, and we're just unhappy. Tell us a bit about that.
Because I went to an academic school, and it was just assumed that you'd kind of go off and you'd go to university and you'd get a degree and you'd work. And I wasn't strong enough to kind of buck that trend, even though I wanted to be a makeup artist. So I did lots of jobs. I worked in advertising. I worked in recruitment for a while. I was very good at recruitment because all you need to do is chat to people. But yeah, then I decided it got to about, I think I was 28 when I had a complete change of career. So, yeah.
So, Pam, your accent,
yeah.
Which part of the up north are you from?
Saddleworth, it's kind of just outside Oldham, so up on the moors. So, but I'm a Londoner. Now, that sounds like a bit disloyal, but I actually do see myself more as a Londoner. I think you can be at home in London wherever you're from. Yeah. And I feel at home in London. I feel like, it doesn't matter, all these different languages, there's different people from all over the world and everybody kind of gels, I think. So I see myself as a Londoner with a broad northern accent.
Fabulous. What was really sweet, your children are born in London, but I remember when they were quite small, they all also had broad northern accents. And that was always a bit of a joke and a laugh. And you said you went to an academic school. How was that? What was that?
So I've got three sisters, and me and the sister that's a year older than me, we both passed the 11 plus and went to the grammar school. So yeah, it was just, I remember hating school just because I think it wouldn't have mattered whichever school I'd have gone to. I just would have been happy just playing out, I think. But yeah, I also realised that if I was going to leave that life behind, that kind of working class life, because my mum did a job she hated, my dad was a builder. It was, I wanted a different life. I didn't want to be. I was always itching to get away, and I think so. I went to university in Leeds, and then went back and lived in Manchester itself rather than living out in the hills. And then when Manchester got too small, I decided I'd move to London. And I thought, when I was moving to London, I remember thinking, if London's too small, I'm going to go to New York. But I got to London and it was just right.
So you would go with a lot of ambition, basically.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you are incredibly modest, Pam. And I know you don't quite like to have the moniker of businesswoman. Why is that?
That's a good question. It's not that I just don't see myself. I mean, I run my own business and I have so I've got my makeup. I've got my makeup artist side of things, and I've got my hair training side business, which are two very quite separate. They're connected in that I do hair as well as makeup. And actually, when I was training, I didn't really want to do hair. I only did hair because you get more work as a makeup artist if you can do both. Then I just discovered that I was really good at doing hair. So that's how the hair training started. So if somebody had said to me, you're going to be really good at hair and you're going to be teaching it, I would have said, never. But I did do those things. So sometimes you don't know what life is going to, what things you're capable of until you actually try doing it. But with regard to being a businesswoman, I suppose I am. But
you suppose you are.
I know.
You are. You've run a business. You've run a business for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And you've maintained yourself and your 3 children, and you have a successful business. So it is interesting that you do resist it. Do you feel there's any part of you that thinks, because you are a mother and that's the thing that you prize most, that's the thing that you don't want to make, you're not so happy with saying about the business side because you think somehow that might make you seem as if you're less interested in the mothering side?
No, I think what it might be is before I became a makeup artist and I was doing my business work when I was kind of, working in an office. And that, in my mind, was what being in business was all about, going to the office and just fill my mind with drudgery and boredom. And that's how I think that's because I see that in my mind, that it's kind of like, and I'm not that kind of the one bit of my business that I'm really, really bad at is the accounts and I'm all right with the admin side, but accounts, I just hand it all over to my accountant. I don't want to think about it. I just want her to deal with it all. So, and I think, so it's almost like, I suppose I'm not fighting against it, but I just like to see the practical kind of pretty side of things and not the nitty gritty of the business world.
I just need to big you up, Pam, because you were the Makeup Artist of the Year 2022.
Yeah.
Wedding Hair Specialist of 2020. I mean, you've got to own it, Pam.
You know what I think when it comes to industry awards? It's like now you walk around everywhere and there's you've got awards for ridiculous things like, best coffee shop, I don't know, best... What did I see the other day? Something ridiculous on might have been a travel agent. It's like there's an award for everything. You know what I think partly it is? The best award that I think I've had was the best wedding hairdresser for the UK. That was back in 2012, I think. And I don't know when it was. Anyway, it was a while ago. But all the other awards, to me, it's nice. It's good that I put them on my, it's good. You can always, you write about it on your social media and you can put it on the bottom of your emails and put it on your website. But what I love is, what's more important to me is when I do the hair and makeup for my brides and they feel, it sounds crazy, but they feel wonderful. And so it's almost like you're giving ordinary people the chance to feel and look absolutely gorgeous. Where if you were, because I used to think, when I first started it, I used to kind of think, I really would have loved to have done some movie stars or this, that and the other. And then when I kind of thought about it, I thought, actually, what I'm doing is giving that service to everyday women. So they can feel like a movie star on their wedding day, on their red carpet moment. And that is that's more important to me. Some of the messages I get from my brides after the wedding day and they're heartfelt, and that is what, I'm not really bothered about awards. I just like to when I get my little thank you messages from my brides, where they've just been so happy with what I've done. And it's not just what I'm doing, it's the time you spend with them in the morning that's really important. You can't have an ego because it's not about you. It's about them. And that the whole morning is about them.
I was just about to say that actually, because even on your website, I don't think there are any pictures of you.
It's one down.
But basically you are about celebrating and giving what you can to your client, whoever that bride is. But I do feel that you could do with some of a taste of your own medicine a bit. Do you know what I mean? Bigging up yourself a bit, because you've raised 3 incredible young people.
Yeah, to have those 3 people that, you've kind of moulded. I don't know if moulded is quite the right word, but you've kind of opened up the world to, giving them kind of just, I think all you can do with your children is kind of just give them self-belief, hopefully, but also just give them, the chance to try different things. If they like it, that's great. But then if they don't, they can maybe try something else and hopefully to believe in themselves. But we all have bits that we're not confident about, don't we? So,
yeah.
Suze, I think that there's a gap in the market there. We've got to come up with an award for mums like Pam.
Well, definitely, because it is important. I remember just being exhausted by Pam's, what she does for her kids and with her kids. I remember one thing you said to me that I have lived by with my kids, where you said, you just need very few rules, maybe 2 rules, and that's it. Stick to them and let everything out, whatever else there is.
We used to
What
have
are they?
we have one rule, and my mum taught. This is something, because my mum is a wonderful mum, and I remember the rule was, our house rule was, when I was growing up, and the same rule applied in my house, was never do anything to anybody else that you wouldn't want them to do to you. So really, you think you're growing up in a house with one rule, but actually that one rule, there's so many things you wouldn't want somebody to do to you. So actually, although you feel like you've got all this freedom and you can do anything, actually, you have to think, would I want somebody to do that to me? That was one. Actually, and the other rule was, if you break anything, just let me know. We all make mistakes. We all have accidents. We drop things get... I'd just rather know about it so I can do something. I don't want to find out that, 3 weeks later that, my favourite cup's been smashed. Just tell me. I'm not going to be angry. I just need to know so I can do something about it.
But that's an important thing. That's a really important thing, to be able to speak to children so they can listen, and listen to them so they can speak. That's a title from somewhere, but it's really important, because if you let them know that you trust them, and if they can come to you and you prove that you are someone they can come to, they will do. And that would solve a lot of problems to begin with, because I know what it's like to grow up where you are very fearful. And you do lie, you make a mistake, it's going to be blown out of proportion, or to your mind, you just think you cannot say anything. So you hide it, you sit on it, you keep something. And once you start keeping secrets, that line between the parent and the child, that's sort of almost like, it's like an invisible thread, and that starts to get worn, and that relationship is doomed to fail. So it's really, really important. It's vital that you are making yourself open, and that allowing that child to know they can say what they need to say to you, even when it's difficult to hear.
Yeah.
But you need to be able to do that.
Yeah.
We hope you're enjoying our conversation with Pam Wrigley.
Pam made a contribution to the book we wrote as a response to the murder of George Floyd, Still Breathing, 100 Black Voices on Racism.
The book features 100 essays from musicians, members of parliament, poets, artists, athletes, civil servants, doctors, and lawyers. They seek to educate, to bear witness, and to offer hope for a better future.
You can find Still Breathing 100 Black Voices at all good online retailers.
But these children now are adults and they're out in the world. They're very successful. I've had the pleasure of meeting them. Mm-hmm. But what about you now, Pam? What's your next chapter? Are we looking at bigger, bolder business moves? Are we spending more time looking after ourselves?
Looking after me, I think, now.
Right, well, describe that. How does that look?
What would I like to do? I had this idea before COVID. I was going to go to, I'm sure I might have mentioned this to you, Suzette, about going to Italy, because I was learning Italian for a while, and I thought I would go to Italy, spend maybe 3 months of the year there, and do some weddings whilst I was there. Lots of British people would go over to Tuscany, get married there. But then COVID hit. So I was going to kind of do some weddings and work my way through kind of 3 months whilst I was learning Italian. So that was my kind of one of my goals. And then COVID hit and I thought, actually, now I'm kind of thinking, I don't really know if I want to do that, because I think I can be quite, I am indecisive, but also I can change quite easily. So I don't think I want to do that anymore. So now, what do I see myself doing? Well, I'll be working for a long time yet.
So, I think we all will be.
I'm hoping to meet the love of my life. I haven't given up on that yet.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I should change it. Not the love of my life. One of them, because I have had, I don't think there's just one love. Well, there is for some people.
Yes. Stop making that face.
So yeah, it's not that what do I want? I want to be nice to meet the love of my life. I love where I live. I don't want to move from where I live. No. I don't want to move in with anybody. They don't need to move in with me. But I'd like to just kind of, maybe have somebody nice to go on holiday with.
Yeah. Did you think that, what's that like as we're all the same age, you're the same age as me. What's that like now at this time, do you think, meeting someone?
I suppose I should be diplomatic about it, but it's hard when you're...
Don't be diplomatic.
No, we don't want diplomats here.
Let it all out, Pam.
I think it's hard enough when you're in your 20s and 30s and probably 40s to meet somebody, I think. Because I remember going out in my 20s when everybody's looking and, you go out and you think, oh, maybe I'll see somebody tonight, and you wouldn't see anybody. So now the pool is much smaller and you are, so it's even harder to find somebody that is... So you kind of have to change what you're looking for, I think. You kind of have to, I'm telling myself to do this. You have to look at personality rather than looks, which it's not easy.
But I'm going to push against that a little bit, Pam. I don't think the pool is smaller, because if you think about it, I'm divorced.
Yeah.
And I think that means the person I was married to is also divorced. So actually, they're just back in the playing field again. I'm not sure if the pool is smaller, but obviously they're...
A lot aren't back in the playing field.
Well, they might be too much back in the playing field.
But also, don't you think as you get older, you get a bit more fussy about certain things? There are things you put up with, possibly, or just tolerate or think are okay when you're 20. But as you get older... You don't just get bigger, you should, and we want to get a bit wiser. So there are some things that you can see that you wouldn't have noticed before. Red flags, for instance. Yeah. That's one they like to see. Like sometimes there's a big old red flag coming, and you're like, maybe it's just sort of is it a blush of orange, or is it pink? No, it's a red flag. So I think that's one of the things, isn't it?
But I think that's why that thing of they live there and you live here, and then you can, then you don't have to see it all the time, at least.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a wonderful thing, because there are couples who've done that.
Yeah.
I think there is a thing, and in some cultures, the women tend to have their areas and they live where they are, and the men, I don't know how that... I don't know. I could imagine myself feeling quite comfortable with some of that. I don't know how it is for the rest of society.
You don't listen. Don't go there. You are very happily married. You don't want to put any ideas in your head.
Oh, right. I think it's easier in a way, because you're not looking for a potential father for your children as you get at our age. You're just looking for a lover for you. Mm-hmm. That's all I want.
Companion.
So But
I think she said lover for her. I don't think she mentioned companion there.
That's true. I shouldn't put words in there. But funny enough, my son
I'm
said
looking
to
for
me,
a lover, not just...
He gave me dating advice.
Yeah.
And he said to me, but ma'am, you don't tell everybody you're looking for somebody. And he says that's the key, that you should tell all your girlfriends, every single one of them, so that they... Also, from the safety aspect, that they hopefully know the person in some respect, and then can introduce you. So that I'm offering you that tip. That's via my son.
Yeah, well, I'm not quiet about it.
Well, you've told the world now.
I've told the world.
And we've got your website. Let's imagine, Pam, that you were on that holiday, let's say the holiday, whether it's a Caribbean island or Italy, how would you treat yourself? Because you, as you've said, and we can testify on your website when reading all the reviews, you've made people feel so good about themselves, women particularly, and, you know, just great and beautiful and worthy. How would you do that for yourself?
Yeah, what's your self-care?
Oh, wow. You know what? During COVID, I couldn't work, but what I loved is kind of just stopping and taking time for me. So I'd kind of do, when we could go out, I'd be out on my bike and then I'd come home and I'd maybe do like 3 hours of yoga. And I've never felt, it was like being on a retreat, but you're just at home, like 3 hours of yoga, a bit of meditation every day. And I absolutely loved it. I used to think I'd never retire. And then when COVID happened and I realised that you can just do yoga all day, I thought, well, why not? And have lovely food. So what I would love to do, my ideal holiday would be, in fact, Suzette's been on holiday. I think one of my best holidays was for my 60th when Suzette came. And it was lovely because I'd spend my morning doing my yoga. We'd have good food, some lovely wine, and we were in a beautiful villa, weren't we? So that good food, I had a fabulous room with a great view, yoga, food and wine. That's it. Wherever I am, and I don't even need to be abroad. It could be in the Lake District or in Cornwall or Norfolk. I've had some lovely holidays here in the UK. So I just like a little bit of time for me to do my yoga. Good food, good company, good wine.
Would any of that, do you think, come to play on your veranda? Because we've invited you here and you're on ours. So wanted you to talk about how you see your veranda. If you could just paint a picture for us of your fantasy.
I always imagine a veranda to be somewhere like in the deep south in America somewhere. I always imagine I'm kind of on one of those verandas where you're sitting and drinking a mint julep or something, you know. So, but what would I do on my veranda? I'd have a lovely view, not too many flies because they really don't like. So I'd have to be fairly insect-free, which isn't that difficult these days because there aren't really that many around. So my veranda would be a swing seat, the sun setting, and a drink in my hand with some crisps.
Oh, crisps, lovely. Because she is British.
Flavour? Any particular flavour?
Plain. I'm easily pleased.
So
Maybe with a man feeding me a few grapes.
Okay, so that's your invited guest.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh. So what would he look like? Do we have a type going on here?
Oh, you know what? I just have a thing. I don't like beer bellies. So that's the first thing. Don't mind if they're bald. I don't mind any of that. It's just, I find it really hard.
You're cracking me up.
Other than that, no, they could be anything. And I don't want them to be, they have to be my age.
Okay,
I'm not
no toy boys for you.
Not at all.
No,
that's not for me. So that's what's hard. Try finding a guy in his 60s.
Yeah.
Without
Ooh.
One of my brides was,
maybe in some yoga classes you might find it.
I'm not really into yoga guys.
No, okay.
So
You're getting a bit fussy here.
I know, one of my brides.
Well, we said that was a part of being older.
You're right. Actually, I want to ask you this. I'm a big fan of yoga too. What's your favourite position? Asana.
Lying down.
Okay.
Most of my yoga that I do now, I've been through lots of kind of different phases with my yoga. I wouldn't do any Ashtanga, not any of that. I'm too old. My body, I like to lie down and stretch.
Yeah.
With my favourite teacher, T.S. Little, who basically, you just do lots of yoga postures, but lying down.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
And they're hard, aren't they? Lying down is hard because just to relax completely, it's not easy. People don't get that.
Yeah. So I would say lying down yoga is my favourite.
Lying down yoga.
I like the idea of that.
There's a book in there. There's definitely a book in there.
Oh, actually, when he's talking about books, what do you think I know already what the title of my autobiography, well, one of the possible titles is My Life in Receipts, because I've always been so terrible with money.
Yeah.
But do you have a title for your autobiography? Can you imagine one?
Gosh, that's a good question. Maybe making you feel beautiful, because I think that's really what my life is. Everything's really been about I like other people to feel great.
Well, I think that should be the title of your autobiography. When are you starting the writing? When you're relaxing on your veranda,
On my
maybe, with your
veranda,
special
or lying
person
down.
next
Well,
to
yeah,
you.
yes. So, yeah, what I would have loved to have done would have been, because when I first started doing brides, they used to send me pictures of me doing the hair and makeup. The photographer would be coming in taking pictures, and they'd send me pictures with me doing their hair and makeup. And you say, oh my, when you look at pictures of yourself, you think, oh, it's awful pictures. So you said, don't send me any pictures of me. So I've had so many pictures of me over, so say I would have been 29, 28 when I first started doing weddings. So I would have had pictures from this would have made a good book. Every weekend, pictures of me, pregnant, not pregnant, but the whole fashion of how weddings have changed over 30 years of hair and makeup every weekend. I mean, obviously not every picture, but it would be like, wow, is that what people used to like? And just the whole thing would have been a great book, but I hated pictures of me, so didn't get
Is
any.
it too late? Is it too late?
Contact
Because,
all those.
that's archive. Isn't it? When you think
really
about it,
would be,
you can
yeah.
see that in the V&A.
Yeah, because fashions in bridal, fashions change. It's only when you look back, they kind of change slowly. So it's only when you look back maybe 5 years, then you see what people aren't doing anymore. So like 10 years, like veils used to be really kind of full. And now they're very simple. Even something as small as not as small as a veil. The people used to always have these little short ones. Now they're having cathedral length. Or they used to have like sparkles all over them. Now they're just simple, plain. So it's like you don't notice things are changing until kind of it's all completely different. So now dresses are kind of getting a bit bigger again, and they all have pockets in. And for ages they were kind of these strapless dresses that were all, and then before that it was these kind of big puffy sleeve things,
Princess Diana.
But it's just lovely. It would have been great to have seen my life in wedding pictures.
You have had some incredible weddings. What's your ideal? What do you think is the ideal wedding?
If I was to get married, my ideal, it would be so small. I'd just have a few people and go for a fabulous dinner somewhere wonderful.
Kick back on your veranda.
Yeah, kick back on the veranda.
Pam, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
On our veranda.
It's been lovely to join you on the veranda.
Thank you so much, Pam.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed our conversation with Pam Wrigley.
If you did, why not click, share, and send it to someone you think would enjoy it too? Or they're able to find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
I'm Suzette Llewellyn.
And I'm Suzanne Packer.
Veranda Talk is a Bengo Media production.